We are ready to start our weights class today. If you're joining us on YouTube, go ahead and hit like and subscribe and make sure you ring that little bell so that you get notified whenever we put up a new video. Today's workout is going to include some work on the stabilizer muscles in the shoulders, so grab a light weight and we'll get started. For our warm-up, we're going to start with feet hip width or a little wider if that's more comfortable for you. And just swing your arms side to side, loosening up, moving through your back and your core, maybe a little into your shoulders and hips. If everything's feeling good, lift your heels, let your body turn a little further, a little faster, maybe get a little blood pumping. Two more to each side. And then bring it back to center. Move into those nice big arm circles going forward. And then going backwards. And then throwing your arms in and out across your chest. And then we're going to do a couple of those dynamic side bends. So straight to one side and then to the other, just reaching across, really bringing a little warmth in through that side body. Beautiful. One more to each side. And then coming back to center, moving into your elbows, nice big circles in one direction. And the other direction. And then your wrists, one direction. And the other direction. And then for your lower body, if you're doing the standing version, nice big hip circles in one direction. Seated, scoot to the edge of your chair and just windshield wiper those knees back and forth. If you're standing, go the other way. And then moving down to your knees. If you're seated, just swing your feet, stretch them all the way out if you can, loosen up through your knees. If you're standing, start with a couple gentle forward and back bops, and then add in those little circles in one direction. Not too big on these. You want to keep these in fairly tight so you're not putting too much strain on the knee joint. If you're circling, go the other way. And then last but not least, pick up one foot, rotate it in one direction. Go the other way. And then take that same foot and point and flex. If you're standing, you might want to hold onto a wall, the back of a chair, whatever's nearby. And then put that foot down and switch to the other side. Circles in one direction. Circles in the other direction. And then that point and flex. Beautiful. All right, we are ready to get started with our workout. So first up today, we're going to do a sumo squat. So you're going to bring your feet out nice and wide, further than shoulder, and then turn your feet out on a 45. Now, if that's not comfortable in your hips, you can adjust your feet however is going to make it work for you, but you want to aim for that outward angle if you can. You're going to grab your weights, one on each shoulder. We're going to do a sumo squat with an overhead press. If you're doing it as a sit to stand, you can still do a nice wide leg sit to stand here, get that same impact, or you can just do it as a body weight squat. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Beautiful. Nice and steady. You don't have to be in a rush, but this one's pretty basic. There's not a lot of fancy form here. So as long as you're feeling okay and nothing pinches or crunches or hurts, you can move a little faster on this one. You're halfway done already. Almost there. And time. Beautiful. Set those weights to the side. Give your arms, your shoulders a little shake. And then from here, we're going to move into an upright row. So you can bring your feet in back to hip width or shoulder, whatever's comfortable for you. You're going to take one weight and hold it sideways in front of you. And then you're just drawing it up to your collarbone height. You can do this seated or standing. If you're doing the seated version, still bring your feet out nice and wide so you have room to raise and lower that weight. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Beautiful. Reach up through the crown of your head. Try to really lengthen your spine on this one. Nice and steady, being aware of your shoulders. Pay a little attention to them. We're using the big muscles here. Shoulder, upper arm, and back. But you still want to make sure you're moving comfortably through that joint and that nothing is pinching or causing any stabbing or tingling pains. "15 seconds to go. Looking good. And time. Beautiful. Set that weight down. Take a moment. Work those shoulders out just a little bit. And then from here, we're going to go into a bicep curl on one side. So we're going to do it in a mini lunge. So you're going to hold that static lunge up on your ball of your foot for the back foot. And you're going to have 2 weights. The back leg, the matching arm is going to just hold right there. The front arm is going to do that bicep curl. And then after 30 seconds, we'll switch and work the other arm. So 30 seconds, I'll tell you when. Here we go. That lunge doesn't need to be super deep. We're really working the calf muscle there more than the leg muscle, the upper leg muscles. Nice and steady, holding that other dumbbell nice and straight out from your waist. Switching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Beautiful. Keeping that calf muscle nice and flexed there. Working your balance just a little bit. And time. Excellent. Set those weights down. Give yourself just a moment. And then up next, we're going to go back down to 1 weight for a tricep extension with a calf raise. Now for the standing version, make sure you have ceiling space. If you live in a tiny space, you may not. So make sure you can go all the way up, all the way down, keeping your elbows in tight by your head. If you're doing the seated version, you're going to raise your heels, raise the weight, lower the weight, lower your heels. Same thing standing. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Heels, and then weight, weight, and then heels. Beautiful. Reaching up again through the crown of the head on this one. Pulling your rib cage in nice and tight, like you're pulling your ribs in towards each other. And tucking your tail under just a little bit to find that nice neutral spine that's very supportive. Almost there, you got 10 seconds to go. And time, beautiful. All right, set that weight down. Wiggle those arms out just for a moment. And then this is where you're gonna wanna switch to a lighter weight. You might even, if you have a history of shoulder problems, try this one empty hand to start. So you're gonna take your weight, seated or standing, hold it out to your side. From there, you're gonna rotate it up next to your head and then go around your head before coming back down. So one more time, curl and rotate over, go around your head, and then come back to start. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Go nice and slow for this one. This one really helps build up the muscles that support the rotator cuff and protect those tendons and ligaments in there. And there are a lot of little muscles that sometimes get overlooked when we're doing our big exercises. So we want to make sure we give them the attention that they deserve. We're halfway there already. Looking good, you got it. And time, beautiful. Switch sides, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Your shoulders may not be the same on both sides, so take it nice and slow to start. 1 minute, here we go. Excellent. Slow and steady on this one. The form is important here, so you want to make sure you get it down. Nice. Focus on that rotation as it comes up, and then as it goes back down. Beautiful. 10 seconds to go. And time. Excellent. Set that weight down. That's the end of the first set. Go grab some water, and then we're going to get to set number 2. All right, bring it back in. So we're back to the sumo squat with the overhead press. If you felt like your stance was off, go ahead and adjust it. If any of the exercises were too easy, up the weight. If they were too hard, lower the weight. Make your adjustments as you go into set 2 based on what you experienced in set 1. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Feet turned out, nice and wide. Beautiful. Fast or slow, up to you on this one, whatever feels good for your body. "15 seconds to go. You got this." Check in with your breathing. Make sure you can breathe smoothly and easily. And time. Perfect. From here, we're going to move into that upright row. So bring the feet in a little bit, holding one weight sideways and bringing it right up to collarbone level. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Reaching up through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. Working on keeping the core and the back nice and still. Letting the upper back muscles, the shoulders and the arms do the work here. Nice and smooth. Beautiful. You're more than halfway there. You got it. Almost done. And time. Set that weight down. Work through your shoulders for just a moment. And then up next, we have that mini lunge with the bicep curl and the static hold. So grab your weights. I'll tell you when to switch. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. You can adjust the depth of your lunge at any time. We're not going for something super deep, but if you feel like you're not doing any work in your lower body, maybe scoot that foot back just a little bit. Just enough to feel it on that calf muscle. Switching in 3, 2, 1, switch sides. Nice. Very smooth. You got it. Use your lower body to keep you nice and stable. Working on your balance. And time. Excellent. Set those weights down. Give everything a little shake. And then next up, we have that tricep extension with the calf raise. Seated or standing. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Keeping your elbows in nice and tight, close to your head. And keeping your belly pulled in nice and tight, like you're sucking your belly button back towards your spine. Tucking your tail under. Have that nice supported low back. And time. Excellent. All right, now we are up to that shoulder stabilizer exercise. So depending on how you felt with set 1, you may want to go a little heavier, or you may want to put it down altogether and just practice this one empty hand. Choose your own adventure. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Rotating it over and then making that nice little circle around the head. Not making a lot of super big movements here. Really working on fine tuning to support the shoulder joint. 20 seconds to go. If you really want to help keep the rest of the body working too, make sure you're keeping that core engaged. Sucking the belly in tight. Reaching up through the crown of the head. And time. Take a second. Switch sides. And then we've got 1 minute on the other side. Here we go. Nice and easy. If you do feel any pinching in your shoulder, change the track of the movement. So maybe bring it forward a little bit or back a little bit, raise it up, lower it down. Find the position that doesn't have that pinching and work through that range of motion. Ten seconds to go. And time. Perfect. Set that weight down. Give everything a little shake. Grab some water. And then we have one set left. All right, bring it back in. We're back to the sumo squat with the overhead press. So grab your weights. Get in that nice wide leg stance, turning those feet out. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. This is the third set. So again, make any adjustments you need. Maybe take this one a little slower. Focus on your form. Remember, we're strength training. So slower is actually better for your muscles here. Get some more work in both directions. Check in with your breathing. Make sure you can maintain a nice, steady, smooth breath. Almost done. And time. Excellent. Set the weight down. Shake those arms out. Next up, we have that upright row. Seated or standing. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Again, focusing on the posture here. Reaching up through the crown of the head. Lengthening through the upper spine as much as you can. Make yourself just a little bit taller. And then bring your ribs in towards each other. And tuck your tail under. Beautiful. Ten more seconds. And time. Set that weight down. Give everything a little shake. And then we're back to the mini lunge with the bicep curl. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Again, slow it down here. Make the weight go up and down at the same speed. So you're working that muscle as much as you can. Still keeping the core tucked in tight. Making your lower body work on that balance. And switch sides. Beautiful. You look fantastic. You got this. Almost done. And time. Set those weights down. Give everything a little shake. And then up next, we have that tricep extension with the calf raise. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Still working on that same posture. Reaching up through the crown of the head. Making yourself just a little bit taller. And then pull the ribs in tight. And then tuck your tail. Just a slight bit. You may notice that it changes the feeling through your core as you're doing this exercise. Helps you fire up those ab muscles a little bit more. And helps you hold your upper body nice and steady. And time. Excellent. All right, we're down to those last two exercises, one on each side for the shoulder stabilizer muscles. So grab that weight, 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Rotating over, and then circling around the head, and then rotating back. Beautiful. Slow and steady. Really paying attention to how your shoulder's feeling here. If you find that it's starting to get overstrained, set the weight down altogether. Try it empty hand. And if that still is making your shoulder feel sore and overworked, just knock it off here. If your shoulder's not used to using those little muscles, it can be a more challenging exercise. And time. All right, switch sides, finishing it out with the last one. Here we go. Rotating over, bringing it around the head, and rotating back. Nice. Again, if you do feel any pinching, change your positioning just a little bit. Bringing that elbow forward instead of right out from your side can change things dramatically. And time. Nice work. Shake everything out. Go grab some water. And then all we have left is our final stretch. All right, bring it back in. Make sure your space is clear. And then we're going to start off with feet hip width apart. Taking a nice deep breath in, coming up to the center. And then fold forward as you exhale. Let everything hang for just a moment. And then bend your knees and roll it all the way up. From here, bring one hand over for a nice side bend, stretching through that side body. And then turning your body over, sweeping around, come up, and let's do it again. Reaching over for that side bend, turning, stretching, and then sweeping it through. And then one more. Bring it up and over, turn and reach, and then sweep it all the way through and come back up to center. From here, going to the other side. So starting with just that side bend, pause for a moment, and then turn and stretch, and then sweep it down and through. Right back up and over. Turn and stretch, and then sweep it through. And then last one, up and over. Turn and stretch, and then sweep it through. From here, come up to a halfway lift, a nice flat back, and you're gonna let your arms just dangle. And then swing them in gentle circles in one direction. And gentle circles in the other direction. And then nice big bend in your knees, come all the way up, shrug those shoulders up and roll them down and back. We're gonna do that 3 times. And one more. Beautiful. Take one arm, bring it across your body, pull it in nice and tight. And then if it feels good, just do a little nod up and down. Just working through your neck a little. And release. Go to the other side. And again, if it feels good, add that little nod up and down. And release. And then last but not least, put one foot in front, toe up, lean forward until you feel a good stretch through the back of the leg. Pause here for just a moment. And then take the opposite hand and reach across either to the foot or the knee, whatever's good for you. Maybe the calf. And add just a little bit of twist. And release. Come all the way up. Switch sides, put the other foot out. Start with just that nice lean forward until you feel a stretch through your leg. And then if that twist feels good, take that opposite hand, reach it across, foot, calf, or knee, whatever works for you. Nice deep breath here. And release. And we are all done. Great job today. Make sure that you pay a little extra attention to your shoulders. Make sure everything's feeling good throughout the day. Maybe do a couple arm circles, check in here and there. And I'll see you guys next week.